Welcome back to another episode of the Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Nikki.
I'm Ty.
I'm Joya.
And today we are going to be talking about these micromanaging districts and principals. Micromanagement leadership.
Oh, they doing it like Ursula Raymond. She like it mine. What I say goes.
I'm in control.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
let's get into it.
We got the queens in the house, y'all.
I am Mrs. P. Smith, the Mama Bear at school, your favorite ELA and SPED teacher, but always teaching my students about business.
I'm Miss Rose, commonly known as the snarky teacher, always ready with the good candy. The kids say I'm their favorite math teacher. After school, it's lights, camera, action. During school hours, it's Miss Carter, the life science teacher saving lives.
We got the queens in the house, y'all.
A lot of administrators, I think, have a need to control a lot of principals, a lot of people in leadership because they don't trust the teachers. And they're getting a lot of pressure, I think, from the district on down.
Yeah.
For their teachers to teach a certain way, behave a certain way, for them to control their students a certain way. It's an image, I think school nowadays is very political. It's not about the students anymore. It's about money, how much money schools are pulling in, how much, and this isn't all administrators, so let me say that before y'all come for me in the comments. But it's really all about the dollar and how these resources are allocated. So if you're giving a school a certain amount of money, then, you're going to want your teachers to do certain things. You're going to want them to make sure that they're testing properly, that the students are scoring, a certain percentage. So, yeah, they don't trust teachers at all. At least in my opinion, I don't think that they trust teachers enough for them to do what they're supposed to do for their students that they're in the classroom with every single day.
I think so when it comes to being a micromanager, I feel like it's more of like a personality trait. It's like, it's a personality. We'll call it that, personality trait. These are things that you just prefer, you want to be in control. And it just but as in leadership, part of being a good leader is being able to, disseminate and say, hey, I'm going to share the responsibilities of whatever needs to be done, and then trust that the people that you have in place, that you've selected to be in place, are going to do that job. When it comes to education, though, I don't think that it's always directly the principals. I think you have to consider that, like, especially now, it's more the opinion of the public. What do the people think? What do the parents think? Because they're the ones that are paying the tax dollars that are going to that school. So really, it's who's for real in charge. If there's a distrust of teachers, I don't feel like it's always the principal or the leadership that don't trust teachers. I think it's the community, right? Because they don't have that eye. I mean, people have talked about, we should put cameras in the classroom so we can see what they're doing. What are they? There's always just this like fake, we don't know what's happening there, when really we're doing exactly what the district told us to do, because they sent us the paperwork and said, do this, now do this, now do this. And we can't even think, and we can't move past what's on that paper to do in that lesson.
So you're saying that it's the principals, it's really the eye of the parents that they're concerned about, or the district, coming down
I think it's,
on the principals?
It's outwards and then in, but the outward is going to the district, right? Because it's your top of your at the very top of your district is an elected person.
Right.
That person is listening to the people and trying to make sure they can get elected the next time to secure their check. So they're listening to who's paying them, and it's a trickle-down effect. I'm not saying that there aren't principals who aren't inherently micromanagers.
Oh,
because
course.
Micromanagement exists in all industries for sure. But I'm thinking, in my opinion, the way I see it, the person who is making the decisions in any school district is an elected official. That official is being elected by the people in that community. I'm listening to the people that are writing my check.
I think
if that forces you to micromanage, then it's just what it is.
I think it's more so that you have different, when it comes to leadership, I think you have different type of personalities. I don't think every leader is a micromanager.
True.
Absolutely.
I think that you have, if you got 5, you may have 2 out of the bunch that are micromanagers.
Mhm.
I don't think it's pressure that's, for me personally, I don't think it's any type of, pressure that someone may be going through. That's just how some people are. They want it done a certain way, and they gonna make sure you do it their way that they want you to do it, versus them just going ahead and doing it themselves.
So I pulled up.
They could do it themselves.
pull up
If
my
you
little
want
list
me
here.
to do this a certain way, then to save time, because as a leader, you want, like you said, to delegate and put people in place to carry on what you need to do. I'm a teacher. Let me do what my job, my responsibilities are as a educator.
Yep.
You cannot be an AP or a director or a principal and a teacher also. So which one are you going to do?
Yep.
And which one are you going to allow me to do? Because I'm not coming in your office and I can make decisions. It's certain things that I want for you as an AP or in leadership to do, and you're not doing it. So you can advise me, but don't tell me you want it done this way or change something how I have done it, because you're undermining me.
Right. And it's the pressure also, I'll still stand on, I think it's really the pressure coming down from the district for certain people.
Okay.
For certain people. And then you also have so it's a conglomerate of a lot of different things. It's a personality, it's maybe pressure from the district, pressure from the parents. It's just a lot of different things. But I think a lot of times people look at teachers as being incompetent and not able to carry out the duties that they signed up for, because it's a hierarchy. It's supposed to be a team. Like when we had Principal Cherry on, the way that he runs his school is a team. But the way that some administrators, not all of them, but
most of them.
Okay. The way that most of them carry on is as if it's like a pyramid scheme. Like it's a pyramid,
Not a pyramid.
Yeah, you're at the bottom.
Yep.
And then you have people at the top. And it's like, you're not going to mess up my money. So if your scores are a particular kind of way, we're going to bring in a math coach. We're going to give you a script. You're going to say A, B, C, and D.
You become a robot then.
You become, they don't, like, again, it's not about the kids. It's about me telling you to do exactly what I told you to do, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to have parents in my office that are then going to go back to Nikki's point, to then go back to the district, and the district doesn't want their hand tapped at all, because it's all about money.
So this is what they say are the signs that you're a micromanager.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you said everything that you said, because it hits on everything that's going to come next.
All right.
So signs you're a micromanager, there are 4. If you always feel that you would have done the task better, you are a micromanager. If you are never quite satisfied with the deliverables, you might be a micromanager. If you constantly want updates from all of your team members and you have to be CC'd on all your emails, you might be a micromanager.
I know some.
If you take great pride and pain in making corrections, you might be a micromanager.
Wow. So let's pause there.
Go ahead, I'm ready for you.
Let's go back to the CC.
The
CC.
So
God.
does that sound like people that you all know?
It sounds like a few people I know.
That is crazy.
I feel like that's somebody who's controlling.
I've been teaching a long time, so I will say that I haven't always had a micromanager in my teaching career. However, there's been one or two, and I'm like, like I've seen some people that micromanage, and it's like, oh my God. Like for me, I cannot handle it. I left for school. I started in July, and by September, I believe, I was gone, because the headmaster was so it was to the point where she wanted you to turn in the kids' homework to her.
Wait, what?
Yes, before you would grade the homework, and you would also put it in, like, on every Monday, or there was a specific day, I can't remember because it's been a minute. It was one day of the week that you would take your homework from the students and place it upstairs in her basket. And I'm talking every class in that building. And I think that school was a K through 8th grade. Every paper she will go through.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't. There's no way. K through 8?
K through.
She's looking at every child's homework.
Hold your brakes, baby.
Okay.
It gets better.
Okay.
Before you can send a parent an email.
Okay.
She has to read the email.
That's a personality problem.
As well as be on the email. I have came across maybe 2 to 3 people in my lifespan that were like this. And for me,
that's too much.
It's a no. Like, if I see you got these traits, I'm gone. I was calling my girl.
That's crazy.
I don't know how long I'm
she
going to be
would go
here.
through. So that's the part on the list, Nikki, you were talking about the pain of going through
Yes.
and doing the you would rather
You're burdening yourself
go
with
through
more
the
work.
pain of the
Right.
task than to let somebody else do it.
But you said
And
it
that's their
already.
job.
Wait, but she said it. You either want to be a teacher or you're going to be the manager. But you cannot
Can't do
manage me
both.
and teach my class. And because then you don't need me. But you also have to think about, I think what I was thinking about when you said that too is, when you do that, you are not successful in either position. If you are in a position of leadership and you're trying to micromanage me to the point where you're basically doing my job and lead the school, you're failing somewhere. And probably at both.
Well, continue on the list. What else is on the list?
Those are the 4 things that are on the list. But it also talks about how schools that have leaders that are micromanagers, the students are not successful. But I think it goes back to what you said. If you're doing both jobs, or you're trying to be all the teachers, you're trying, to your point, I'm a grade all the, everything, because you want that control so bad.
It is.
You're failing.
It's a control.
Yeah, but you're failing because you're failing to lead, you're failing to teach, you're also not supporting your staff, and we all know that those are a recipe for disaster and student failure.
Well, it's a case of, let me show you, in some instances, let me show you who's the boss.
Okay, I could see that.
I'm going to let you be the boss.
I will too. I'm going to sit right down.
Because I'm gone.
So like we were talking about before we started about the lady who we were talking about, the lady who, I saw it on Reddit. I didn't see it on the show that y'all were talking about, where her principal took her chair because she sat in it. And you were like, no way. And
I can't believe that.
And the day you come in and take my desk because I'm a grown woman.
And go home.
Leave that laptop on the desk.
Coat and hat, not the door.
Yeah. You teach these kids.
Yeah.
I'm not a child.
Else to do it.
Because you don't,
That's crazy.
When I want to sit down, I'm sitting down. I got back issues.
Even if you don't have back issues, if I want to sit down, I'm sitting down. I'm not floating around the classroom.
Because the children put A, B, C, D, E.
What'd you say, the Christmas tree?
Doop, 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 doop. Boop.
Whether I'm sitting down, standing up, that answer's still going to be the same.
And it's going to be wrong. You're right. That's wild.
Why are we walking around
because they
doing
think you're more effective as a worker if you are standing up in certain schools.
Yes.
I've never heard of that before, where you were required to stand up.
I feel like it's one of those unwritten rules. It's like
the warrant.
Yeah, I feel like it's like those unwritten rules for teachers. Because one of the other things that the article that I was reading kind of goes on to talk about is how principals want to. Yeah, it's like an unwritten rule. You don't sit down. Yeah, it's like they don't write it down.
Okay,
just like jeans in the classroom. You're not effective if you're wearing jeans. I could wear leggings. What I'm teaching, it doesn't change what I'm teaching.
And that's what these new teachers, they're coming in and thinking that you don't have. Let me say this: I do not teach from bell to bell. Number one, nobody wants to hear me talk that long. I don't want to talk that long. Kids need to show, or they need to be able to show their instructor that they can apply what I have taught them.
They need to be hands-on.
They need to be doing all the work. Yes. Now, I can facilitate and answer any questions. I guide you to a certain point, but then I'm done. I'm doing stuff around the classroom. I'm grading papers. I'm sitting down. And you need to be doing the work with your group, since you all like the differentiated strategies with the kids. Some kids on the computer, some kids drawing a picture, some kids talking about it. It needs to be a busy classroom.
Yes.
Right.
And I am not going to be walking around and floating. I think that's what a lot of new teachers think, that, oh my God, if the principal comes in the room, then I need to be walking around. No, you don't.
I'm in that same seat that you seen me sitting in when you came in.
The last time.
But I done had people to come to me and say, those have been the expectations when their leader comes into their classroom.
For you to pop up.
You done probably came in 2 minutes and a person is sitting down. You don't know what has taken place
Before.
and you're judging them for sitting down.
That's crazy.
And nobody wants you hovering over them.
That's
Kids
true.
don't like that.
They sure don't.
Nope. They don't. I think
No
it's
one
a
wants
problem.
to be seen,
You a helicopter
singled out like
teacher.
that.
Nobody's doing
because they told you to be.
Exactly. But when you know your kids, I can be sitting at my desk if I happen to sit down, and I can look at a kid and I can tell if they're playing a game on their computer.
Mm.
That's when you
get that
know that
glaze
you're an
over look.
instructor and you know your students and you know your craft. Like, I can literally look at a student and tell by the movement of their hands, the shiftiness in their eyes. I can tell, okay, they're not on task. I don't need to be over there. Are you on your are you on your assignment? Yeah. No, you're not. Close the computer. You're done. Get a book. You're going to do some book work today because you want to be playing games and you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we have talked about before. You have these people that haven't been in the classroom
Right.
for a amount of some time, and then they come in, they're judging or they're critiquing you on how you're doing your job. When was the last time, as you said before, that you stepped inside a classroom?
Yep.
Mhm.
But I still think the other part is wanting to, when it comes to being a micromanager, I feel like what's happening as a whole in education is that they're building a system where that is who they're attracting. Because, like I said, the cookie cutter lessons, like, why are my math lessons built out word for word? And
because they need those test scores. They need those test scores.
But that's not
why.
raising the test scores.
Girl,
because every kid.
My point exactly.
I'm a hands-on learner. You tell me, like you said, facilitate for me. I got you.
Right.
That's why, and I think, like we were talking in our dressing room, and I was like, I'm not a big reader, but I learn. I want to read to learn. I'm not reading for entertainment, right? And that's just how we differ. I like technical stuff. Teach me, and then let me do it. Let me apply it.
Right.
So math makes sense to me. When you're like, read this poem for what? Read the haiku. It doesn't make sense to me. Right.
Okay.
Well,
But
it's only
every
5
kid
lines.
is still boring. Still boring. I'm like, I don't. It just was so like, why
You didn't
we
like
doing
the
this?
haikus?
I didn't like it. I didn't. Because I was like, what am I doing with this now? I did
So
it
you
now.
can
What?
see the mind of the author and where they were going, what experiences they had, and how they pulled it into the poem.
I will say, I like to read poetry.
Okay.
I will say that. I do like to read poetry, and I like it when
I don't like to read poetry. To be
Really?
honest. I don't.
I'm learning something new about
I really don't like to read
You
poetry.
like poetry? Side note, you like poetry?
Of course.
I don't like to read it,
I
though.
definitely could see you liking poetry. I was actually named after a poet.
And it's just not
Nikki
haiku.
Giovanni.
Ego
is
Tripping
where-
is one of my favorite
I was named after Nikki
pieces.
Giovanni. I sure was.
Ego
That's
Tripping, I
crazy,
love
right?
it.
My mom likes poetry too. So there we go. But yeah, so to all of that is
That's
With our cookie
a
cutter-
great poet though.
She is. I like her.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
I think the cookie cutter lessons, they don't feed into that end. They're not feeding what each kid needs. And I think, like you said, you can look at
Nikki
your
Darling,
students and say, I know what they're looking for.
It's not
Everybody
about,
doesn't do
and
the same
I'm
thing.
so glad you said that, because it's not about the kids. There should be
that's the
no
problem.
reason. I don't know if you remember, we had a teacher that we taught with, I won't say her name, but I say this often. It's so funny. She had the script from the district, and she would get up and she would read it. She was a robot, and she would read exactly what the district told her to read. And the kids actually failed even more than before she got the script from the district.
Yes.
So,
because you're no longer giving them what you need. But I think that is the point. We are doing a disservice by saying we're going to give cookie cutter lessons, and every teacher on the hall is going to give the same lesson every day, the exact same way, to their students who are all different.
yeah.
But you know who else is getting that? Teachers are also being given a cookie cutter experience and we are all different. But the crazy part is that when you come into teaching, you are coming to teaching because you want to teach and you want to inspire your students. Our focus is different. Teachers want to inspire the kids and teach the kids. We want them to have those light bulb moments, those ahas, and but individualized education makes sense. You can't do it the same.
They don't have no aha.
They don't have them because when I say and, if they walking down the hall,
what you say?
You say and, I'm saying and, she better say and. We better be saying the same script. To these, they're not getting what they need.
Yeah, that's
at the end of the day.
That's the goal. Yeah, they all want. I remember when I was teaching science at our other school, they wanted us to all have the same I can statement, which is from the district, right? But they wanted us all to be teaching the same lesson the same day at the same time.
Every class
had, like if they said if we went into your classroom and went into maybe Miss Allen's class or something, you all should be teaching the same lesson. Like, our kids are different. I am not the same type of teacher that Miss Allen is, hypothetically speaking. So why would you want us to all... I'm not doing that. And I didn't.
Terrible.
Every class should look the same.
No.
That's crazy.
Uniformed.
Not doing that.
But we don't... What'd you say, the prison system?
I didn't do this.
I mean, I can understand some of it, but, I can understand that we all should... if you're in general education, y'all should be on the same. I think the kids should be on the same standard. However, I don't think every class is generally not going to look the same because everybody's different. And I think that what makes better educators, because you don't want to be teachers are different. None of us are the same. We all have different teaching style. What you do in your classroom, I'm totally going to do something different. And I don't think us educating our kids, showing them that type of system is good for them because there are a variety of kids in the classroom. So that one-step approach is not going to work. Standard, yes. Teaching styles, absolutely not going to be possible.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's frustrating as a teacher, and even beyond teaching, I think when you work under a micromanager,
period,
it just doesn't work. You leave. Because I've had too many micromanagers in corporate and in education, and both in corporate. Well, I would quit a job.
You can't do that.
I mean, I'm a leader. As a leader, for me, when I'm training my people, like the point of me having you here and to have hired you is because I need some of the work off me. I don't want to have to come and babysit you. If I have to babysit you, if I have trained you, and I ain't talking about, I need you to pick up quick, real quick. So if I have trained you and then I come back in and you don't have to do the job how I have trained you. However, we should all be getting to the same goal. Goal. Yeah. It need to be clean or whatever the case may be. We still should be able to reach the same goal. Yeah. No matter if you took how I told you to do it or you have found your way. Right. However, I don't need to be coming back to you and talking about the same things over again. I don't want to do that. I need to put this time into something else. That's why I'm paying you to do the job that I have asked you to do. So for me, I'm definitely not a micromanager.
I can't micromanage.
And cannot be micromanaged.
I think any space, for me, any space that takes away my creativity, I can't do it. I feel like it runs off good teachers, but if I can't be creative and do my own thing, because I agree with you. As long as at the end of the day, the job is done and the kids are happy and healthy, leave me alone.
Happy and healthy.
But because I'll never forget the time that the principal that we used to work under came and told me how I should rearrange the desks in my classroom because she didn't like how they were arranged.
Oh, that's interesting.
She said she didn't like the way the desks
She came with the diagram.
What did you say?
Out. I just took it. She had a note card. She had drawn out on a note card and brought it to me and told me that she didn't like the way that my desk in my classroom were set up. And she gave it to me how she wanted it done. Lord and Jesus. I just looked and I was like, I had been micromanaged before. That was just so direct. It was just so wild to me. And so I looked at the note card and I looked at her and I was just like, Oh, okay. And I put the note card in my desk. Them discs ain't changed. I wasn't about to do all that.
What was the logic behind?
She didn't like it.
She just
That's
didn't
not
like
how she would have done it.
Yeah. The principal or the AP?
The principal. She actually came to my
and said that she didn't like how the desks were? I've never heard of that
I had
before.
37 kids on my roster.
Which classroom? You were in my old classroom or your
old classroom? The one I moved out of. With no windows except one of the painting that the kids made.
Oh, the one where you had Peaches, the hamster. I miss Peaches.
I do too. He in the backyard though.
Damn. Peaches died. Peaches passed.
He passed away.
That was her classroom pet.
He lived a long life. Boy, he lived a long life. He was old.
Why are you looking like that, Ty? You don't like Peaches? Peaches was cute.
Peaches lived longer
Too
than
close to
any
a rat.
hamster. Hamster's supposed to live a year and a half. That thing was alive for 3 years.
It was.
He was
Too close
Peaches
to a
was
rat.
not no rat. It's in the rat family.
They cousins.
They do have
close.
a similar ancestor.
And I
If you want
can't
to get
pet it.
scientific. What?
And I can't pet it.
You can't pet the
R.I.P. Girl. No, I don't do rodents.
Do you do snakes?
I would pet a snake before I pet a. First of all, I'm not petting anything looks like a rat. Let me tell you something.
Squirrel, nothing.
When my baby came out, it was giving rat.
Why would you say that out loud? Giving rat.
I told y'all I gotta take her.
I did okay. I
didn't say that.
I did the same thing.
Y'all gotta
I
go
don't want
clean
it.
up.
Y'all gonna have to fix that. I didn't want it.
The baby looked like a
I
rat.
didn't care. It was too.
Why? Because she was bald?
It was too much.
I don't know what it was. It was looking.
Well, I mean, the baby just came out the birth
I don't
canal, so
care.
she's a little squish.
Take it.
And it had a little hair. It was giving rat. But when they
took me a
cleaned,
nap.
when they washed, they went and wiped
didn't
up
go
and brought my little baby back. I went on ahead and hugged her, but
Give me some.
But
time.
when she came out, you didn't want no. You didn't want
no
to.
parts of it.
She was giving rat.
It was
giving rat.
Was your baby giving rat as well?
She had a full head of hair and gray eyes.
I know, but was she giving rat?
She was. It was very weird, and she was tiny too. So really, I was going rubber chicken.
Y'all need to stop.
Because she wasn't but 4.5 pounds.
I don't do cats in the house.
You don't do what?
I don't do cats.
I don't like house cats either.
But if I stay in a woody area and it was, I had to give me a cat.
The cat's gonna take care of the rodent
I'm gonna
problem.
get that cat.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way I'm living in the house with a rat.
That's why Europe had that issue with the bubonic plague. They got rid of all the cats because they thought that they were demonic.
Yep.
And then the rat population went up, and then you have the onset of the bubonic plague, which has absolutely nothing to do with it. But I thought I'd just say that. That was fascinating.
Listen, they're learning.
And
the
then
people gotta learn.
10 million people died.
My skin is crawling right now.
Yeah, they thought
And
the
it's-
cats were demonic.
Okay, let's go and get back to
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's another way. That's another form of micromanagement. I don't like the cats.
They didn't let the cats do their job.
Right. Should let the cats do their job. They wouldn't have had the plague. Them people might have some lineage. They gone.
So what is this symbolizing?
What, the rats?
The rats to education. You're not letting the teachers do their job, and that's why the kids
rats
acting
running wild. There you go.
The
rats running wild because the
kids
teachers
acting
ain't
a
here.
plain plum fool.
Oh,
That's
you
all
know,
folks
you
say.
know what? You sure right about it. They are all over the place. Oh,
You won't allow
And
the
populated
you won't
in
allow the
school.
teachers you won't allow the teachers to manage their class, discipline their kids.
Oh my God.
They're not gonna let you discipline the kids.
Oh, you're not gonna discipline those kids.
Oh, absolutely not.
They're not gonna let you do that.
Because the first thing, and that's interesting to me about what I've heard some leaders say. It's kind of contradicting when you look at it, because they'll tell you that managing the class is part of your job duty, which most time discipline falls up on the classroom management.
Yes, it
directly
does.
falls. First thing listed.
Because that's part of managing your class, right?
Yes.
But then you're not allowed to give a kid a consequence. I don't understand that. That just came to me.
That's a great
remember that
point.
pyramid I was telling you all about at the beginning?
Uh-huh.
That pyramid scheme thing?
Yeah.
You at the bottom.
So I'm not giving a consequence, and you definitely not giving a kid a
Yep.
consequence.
But if
No.
you give a consequence, you're getting a consequence.
Yeah, because the parents, remember the stakeholders that Nikki was talking about, the parents, they don't want their kids disciplined.
not the way you're gonna do it.
Right.
I'll do it, but I'm not gonna do it at home.
Right.
But that's a damn good point.
Mm-hmm.
I say so myself, because Absolutely. And if
So
you look at the
don't
system today,
even, so they need to take that out. Don't ask me, what are you doing as part of your classroom management to handle, discipline or disruptions or whatever the case may be, when I'm not even allowed. I know this is off topic, but it just came to me, so I had to address it. I'm not even allowed to handle consequences because I write the referral, you bring it back.
I found. I found. You remember what we used to do? When I used to write referrals, and I used to tell y'all I take the picture
of it. That's why I started taking pictures of it.
No, I took pictures of mine.
I did too, but I was going through my phone the other day.
Oh my
God! I found referral. Because I was looking for a word, and whatever the word was, it was so many referrals, and I was like, "This kid never got that. They never." It was so many referrals, like 30 referrals over a couple of years, and none of them.
I had pictures in my phone with the kid doing that.
I have a couple of those.
Tearing up the room. I'm gonna stand and watch you do it.
Then came back with the chipping coat.
I'm gonna stand and watch you tear up the room. Don't do that. Stop.
I remember the day I put my foot down and I said, he can't come back in here.
We're talking about the same child.
He cannot come back in here. That was one day I was.
Now, can you imagine
serious.
so many teachers that have those issues with certain kids that disrupt their class on a daily basis?
Yeah.
And they don't say, hey, this child is not coming back in here because they're afraid that they're going to go to the county or they're going to lose their job.
I mean,
Advocating for yourself, new teachers, is so important.
It is.
Especially when you have the paper trail. This child, I don't care what you do with him, he can't come back in here, or I'm going home. Those are your two options.
Yep, me or him.
And that's my communication to whomever is running the school at the time.
Yeah.
And
we're
then
not doing
you send them out. And then I had an AP came back.
Okay, here we go.
Brought the child right back in the classroom. Is it okay if she come back in?
Absolutely not.
Ma'am. No. Why are you down here with her? Why can't you all be in your office and down? Like, this is insane. What are you doing?
Because
somebody need to micromanage you, because obviously you don't know what you're doing.
Hello.
Why are you bringing this child back into the classroom?
They don't want to deal with it.
And then when the child get choked down, you trying to send me to the jail.
It never gets to the point where teachers just come out just choke. We're not an advocate, or we don't promote violence, but there are so many instructors. They don't just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna choke this kid today. There were so many events that led up
to that moment,
to that point
they
had enough. You're not gonna talk to me like this. We do not promote violence toward children. I have to say that. But you have to look at what happened before that teacher said enough is enough. And I'm pretty sure the young lady that was shot with the red hair, they're suing the principal because that day she said, hey, I believe this child has a weapon.
She did. And
the administrator, she told her she was at her computer, said she didn't even look up at the girl.
Sound about right.
Didn't even look up at her to acknowledge.
They know everything.
That she was saying something about the child that had to go before he shot her.
Some leaders know everything.
And they knew that there was other kids that knew about it.
Yeah.
And the thing was that she had said it so many times. And said that she had these concerns, and her concerns were ignored. But again, you were talking about the pyramid, how we're at the bottom. And I think that that's the problem. Students and teachers should really be at the top. Because one of the things that are always said, and I'll stand firm on this no matter what, is a student's learning environment is the teacher's work environment. Those are the same location, the same place.
That was genius.
My experience in my classroom and at my school impacts your student's experience in my classroom at that school. You cannot treat me bad and think this kid is going to, you can't stifle me, stifle my creativity, micromanage me, be disrespectful to me, be verbally or physically abusive to me at work, because that's where I am, and then say, be a great teacher. You got it. Go team. Here's a free shirt. No, that's not enough.
Dress down there.
Right, a jeans pass, but I need $10 for it.
You gonna get that jean pass.
You gonna get that jeans
pass I had paid for. I feel like
you gotta pay for it.
I had to pay for.
I ain't never paying no jean pass day.
I was young.
Cause the day y'all wear y'all jeans, I wore mine too. Cause I ain't know. I thought it was for everybody. You asking for the pass.
I started just wearing them just to see, and nobody ever asked me. I said,
said
I'm no longer paying for this crap.
That is crazy. Instead of paying teachers more, we don't want any more pizza parties, any more T-shirts, any more snowmans in the bottle. And that water was good. I thought it was tasty.
I don't know what you talking
Yes,
about.
Yes, you do. Don't block that memories out.
I never got a snowman in the bottle.
Yes, you did. It was in your mailbox. I got one too. I threw mine in the
During
trash. I was so mad.
Let me tell you, that water was crisp.
That water.
I felt like it was frosty in the bottle. It was.
Tell you where I put it.
Ooh,
$5.69 straight trash.
it was delicious. I used to take other people's water.
I did not get a
We want to get paid. We deserve.
We
to
want
be
a day
paid.
off.
Yep. I got some Sharpies one time. Now that I liked. Get me some colorful.
They can give you everything else but what you want.
Right.
I mean, trust.
Ridiculous.
At the end of the day, you know, I know that we have some teachers that be wilding out. I'm gonna keep it funky.
Oh yeah, they do.
But for the most part, you know, for your people that your veteran teachers, or your people that have been in that classroom, trust that they know what they're doing. I'm an expert in my field, just like you're an expert in your field. I don't come to this job and tell you how to do your job, and
That's
I got
right.
suggestions. I really do. I have suggestions. However, for us to make this thing a team and make this thing work, treat me as an adult with respect, like I'm giving it to you. Don't undermine me. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. Let me do my job. Let me do my 8 and skate. Okay?
I like that.
I think we can close off on that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, thank you for watching another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads.
All the places.
All the places. I hope you enjoyed another episode. Please make sure you talk to us in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, if you enjoyed our show today and would like to see more content like this, make sure you follow and like our YouTube channel at Real Teachers of Atlanta.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. We got the queens in the house, y'all.